I'm your host, Heather Dawson, and welcome to California Life, where we bring you the best of California. And this week, it's all about back to school and the best colleges. Well, Stanford tops the list for the best colleges in California, according to a new ranking by College Consensus. More students consider Stanford their dream college than any other institution, yet Stanford can only accept 5% of applicants and has at least 30 billionaire graduates to date. Ranking number 2 is Claremont McKenna College, also one of the top 5 colleges for salary potential and the second happiest college in America. Also part of the Claremont colleges, Pomona College is right behind CMC at number 3 with one of the highest percentages of diversity. Harvey Mudd College is number 4 in the state and stands alongside Caltech and MIT for the rate of graduates going on to PhDs. And Scripps College is one of the most elite women's colleges in the nation, coming in at number 5. Rounding out the top 10 is Cal Berkeley, UCLA, Caltech, Santa Clara University, and Pitzer College, also of the Claremont colleges. Well, how about starting off the school year with a new backpack from LA Dodger Cody Bellinger? Well, Bellinger helped give away kids backpacks and supplies, helping over 2,500 families.
Hi, I'm Elise Thurston with Coast to Coast, and summer is the best time for outdoor cooking and entertainment. Here to share some backyard party inspiration and grilling fun is award-winning chef David Olson. Welcome in, David Olson.
Hey, it's so good to be here with you, Elise. I'm looking forward to our conversation today and spending a little bit of time together.
And can you please give us some ideas for bringing fun flavors to a backyard bash?
Yeah, absolutely. I have a list a mile long, but the one flavor rising to the top this summer is peanut butter. And right out front, we have these absolutely amazing grilled, caramelized, sticky peanut butter and jelly wings. We're pairing it up for dessert with this crunchy, crumbled Nutter Butter Crust banana pudding that is absolutely out of this world. And for our four-legged friends who love the barbecues probably way more than we do, we have these amazing peanut butter homemade dog treats. I've been to about 1 billion barbecue joints around the world. I've hosted just as many backyard cookouts, and I know this about both. It's all about the sides. And Bush's baked beans just make summer menus better. Whether you're firing up the grill for a backyard barbecue or you're packing a picnic for the park, Bush's brings the flavor and fun to summertime occasions.
And do you have any other super chef secrets to share?
I do. Embercraft by Live Fire Republic. This is our very own chef-driven, barrel-aged, live fire-inspired sauce line. I've been working on this for 3 years and sharing here for the very first time for home cooks that want to eliminate the guesswork and elevate their outdoor game on their very next cook. And to me, this has been so much fun. There's 4 sauces that are a part of our master collection to launch. You can find these right now for sale at embercraft.com.
And what should people have on hand at any backyard bash?
I have on hand out here Bics Easy Load Multi-Purpose Lighter. This is their newest, longest lasting multi-purpose lighter yet. It provides nearly 15,000 lights when replaced up to 10 times with Bics Maxi Pocket Lighter.
Where can we go for more information?
Find our sauces launching here today at embercraft.com. For all these tips, recommendations, recipes, and more, get out to tipsontv.com.
Great. Well, thank you so much.
Yes, thank you. It's great to see you, Elise. Take care. I look forward to seeing you again soon.
How safe are your children? Our next guest is dedicating his life to child safety. Plus, see why each year thousands of students across the country compete for a chance to go to the National High School Musical Theater Awards in New York. There's a website every parent needs to see as our kids head back to school. Find out how safe are your children. Family Watchdog founder joined me in studio to explain why he is dedicating his life to child safety. Well, whether or not you have heard of his website and what it offers, one thing is certain. By the end of this interview, FamilyWatchdog.us will be your family's best friend. Steve Rottle, the president and CEO of FamilyWatchdog.us, is in studio with us, and thank you so much for joining us, Steve.
Well, thanks for having me, Heather. Appreciate it.
And this is a topic that I think a lot of people don't like to always talk about, but it's so important. And that's, of course, children being molested and knowing where these sexual predators are. And that's, of course, the whole basis of your website.
Exactly.
And tell me a little bit about what FamilyWatchdog.us is.
It's a website where we go and we collect information from all of the Megan's Lost sites from all the states in the United States. And we present that information to people in the form of a map. So you can go in, and it's a free service. You go in, you just type in an address, a city name, a state, or a zip code rather, and we'll present you back with a map that shows where the sex offenders in that area live. You can then click on those dots and get information about the offenders. So you can get photos, you can get the address where they live, you can get the convictions that they were, things they were convicted of.
So a lot more than really you can see on Megan's Law. I know that kind of just gives you the dot of where they're located.
Sure.
So this is a little bit more information.
Right.
And you were telling me that this was something that you did on your own, mainly because when you went to look yourself, you found out there was somebody close by.
Right. In my own case in Indiana, if you remember back to last year when Jessica Lunsford was taken and killed by her neighbor, I went out to my Indiana registry and did a search and wasn't able to find anybody, and came to find out that I had someone that was 600 feet from my back door that I couldn't locate because the state had misspelled the street name when his information was entered. And so looking at that and just looking at how unusable the Megan's Law information was, we decided to go out and create this site where people would be able to go out, enter their address, rather than trying to search for offenders. I want to know what's around me.
Right, and your kids.
And my kids.
And you were also telling me about your cell phone, that this is something that, technology is advancing. That's your background, technology, which is one reason that you've been able to do this very, intensive site. But how are we going to see some changes?
Sure. Well, what we've done is here with our cell phone, we've actually created the FamilyWatchdog.us mobile application. So you can go in with any web-enabled cell phone, and you'll be able to do searches and find offenders that are in your area. And again, as with our web-based product, it's completely free. So anybody can go in and they can do searches and find potential threats to their families.
And really the only thing you can do as a parent and as a neighborhood, like you said, is to protect
Absolutely.
your kids. I mean, that's the only defense that we have, and that's what FamilyWatchdog.us does. And thank you so much for coming on our show. I think it's a wonderful message to get out, and every parent needs to check it out.
Oh, thanks. And again, we appreciate coming.
And coming up on our Back to School specials, see why each year thousands of students across the country compete for a chance to go to the National High School Musical Theater Awards in New York. For many, back to school also means back to rehearsals. Each year, thousands of students across the country compete for a chance to go to the National High School Musical Theater Awards in New York. California Life's Audra Stafford shows us how one regional competition is also promoting wellness through the arts.
I'm here outside the Balboa Theater, home to the annual Ben Vereen Awards, which showcase the best high school musical theater talent San Diego County has to offer. This year, 20 young men and women hit the stage, but just 2 made it to the national competition. Sky Frank.
I thought he was the wisest and the strongest and the best.
Jillian Stratman.
When you once unafraid wore your heart on your sleeve, and the one that you loved chose to just turn and leave.
The Ben Vereen Awards also honored several students whose lives have been positively changed through the arts, including a young musician.
You can tell a lot about a person from their hands. These hands belong to Jens Briscoe, a trumpet player at Rancho Bernardo High School. Like Jens, they're skillful, sure, of where they are and where they're going. But it wasn't always that way.
I thought, I'm probably the only person who feels like that.
Because the hands don't tell the whole story.
I found the word transgender in my 8th grade year, and I was like, oh, so that's the word for it.
It took about a year for Jens to break the news to his dad and stepmom.
I feel everybody has some fear because you don't know how it's going to happen.
I was definitely very concerned, but The only thing I knew what to do was to be as supportive as possible.
This father's hands strong, protective.
I worried about, you know, being transgender, what kind of roadblocks that would be in his life.
There have been roadblocks, like when Jens asked to use the boys' locker room at school, and it led to a heated, headline-making debate.
They're like isolating me as if I was, you know, like a freak or something.
There are also the everyday struggles just to fit in, like wearing a binder.
Because when you see a chest, you're like, oh, that's a girl. And I'm like, wait, no, please, no.
And educating people on the importance of using he and not she when talking about him.
Being called by the wrong pronoun just proves to me that I'm not passing. It's extremely depressing.
Fortunately, in addition to his parents, Jens has had the support of his teachers and classmates like Michael, and a creative outlet for his emotions.
Art is a big part of my life. It's helped me through a lot of really tough times. Whenever I'm feeling sad, you know, I can draw it out. Or like play a very emotional piece.
Jens even found the inspiration for his name through his art.
I did get it from a trumpeter, Jens Lindemann. He just seems very confident. He's somebody that I wanted to be like, and that's how I wanted to approach coming out, is just be confident, be myself, you know.
That confidence, coupled with Jens' immense talent, caught the attention of legendary stage and screen star Ben Vereen.
Thank you for your courage.
Who invited him to perform at the 2017 Ben Vereen Awards as part of his Wellness Through the Arts initiative.
You know, you're always like, my kid's special and no one knows it except for me. I mean, it just kind of validates that my kid's special, you know?
And hitting all the right notes.
For links to learn more about the Wellness Through the Arts initiative, the Ben Vereen Awards, or a regional competition near you, just visit our website.
As our lives become increasingly digital, understanding how to protect ourselves and our loved ones from online threats is more important than ever. One of the top global cybersecurity and cyber warfare specialists, who happens to be CEO of Huntress and a legitimate ethical hacker, Kyle Hansloven, is here to help us navigate the digital world safely. Kyle, cybersecurity is crucial for families today. Why is it so important to be aware of online threats?
So if you think about it, like everything we do today is online, right? And everything online nowadays has an app involved. And last I checked, whether it's a social app, a video game, or even something basic, they're all asking for two things. One, please exchange information. The other one is usually communicating with others, especially on the social side. So we're kind of more than ever asked to expose more privacy than ever. So as a result, we kind of have to remember yesterday's tactics for staying safe no longer apply today, let alone tomorrow.
How do online predators typically operate?
They try to use urgency. Hey, I've got you this one thing that you can't get from the game, or you owe tax money. And it's the same tactic. Separate you from people that are going to be able to give you advice to, stay away from these folks. And then use urgency to kind of let your guard down and force you into doing something you wouldn't traditionally do.
How can malware infect family devices, and what measures can prevent these infections?
So I can tell you, for my kids who've dealt with this firsthand, they love to go and play online games. So they start searching how they can get it for free. And this is the perfect way that leads them to shady websites that download apps. And what's wild is sometimes the software actually works, but what they don't realize is somebody shady on the other end is kind of packed it full with that just little bit of virus that's either going to steal information. And that's one of the things you just never really know of when you're using some of this kind of nefarious software. Those are the type of, again, scenarios that are going to lure you in. And even though you might not have had malware, when you fall for their uninstaller or their cleaner, that might be just enough to, get you to bite, and then they have access to you.
What precautions should families take when making online purchases or banking online?
Passwords are so easy to guess nowadays. The thing that I try to advise anybody, you cannot reuse that same password, but if you are falling victim, or let's be real, sometimes we're just conveniently lazy, you have to use that two-factor authentication.
And lastly, what immediate steps should families take to mitigate damage and recover from cybersecurity breaches?
everybody's going to get hacked. So the first thing I try to normalize it is like, there isn't shame. This is just the result of the technical world we're in. But I always try to calm people down that just because somebody has compromised one thing doesn't guarantee that they're going to be able to move to other things quickly. If you lost your account, don't let it go, without doing that password reset or following the emergency recovery instructions, because you'll give the criminals enough time to resell your access to other criminals, and then you've got a big problem.
Keeping you up to date with the latest tech, I'm Will Armstrong for Coast to Coast.
With a new school year about to begin, we can all agree that every child deserves a safe, clean, healthy ride to school. Joining us today is Tucker Perkins, President and CEO of PERC, the Propane Education and Research Council. Welcome, Tucker Perkins.
Well, thanks for having me.
And what should we know about how school buses impact our children?
Well, what you need to know is that how your child gets to school, the choice of school bus they ride, really impacts their education. And sadly today, most children ride to school in a diesel bus. The way I rode to school, probably the way you rode to school. When we've been behind that bus, we've seen that cloud of black smoke. When we put them in a propane-powered school bus, that cloud of black smoke is gone. No more concerns about asthma and bronchitis. A quieter ride to school. No fumes, no noise, healthier ride. That's what you get when you put children in a propane-powered school bus.
And why should we consider alternative fuels for powering school buses?
Well, we should consider them because they're better for the health of the child, they're better for the environment, they're better for the financial position of the school. And I'm really happy to say California, as you would expect, has been a leader in this. Today, over 1,500 school buses operating on propane, many of them operating on renewable propane. So as we want to think about improvements to the climate, lower greenhouse gases by using propane and then renewable propane, we go to zero carbon or even sometimes even negative carbon. So much better for the environment, better for the health of the child, and better for the financial health of the school.
And how can using cleaner fuels impact the environment?
So lower carbon footprint using conventional propane, even lower carbon footprint than perhaps the electric grid, because most of the electric grid comes from burning natural gas, coal, or oil. So even when compared to fuels of the future, propane or electric, much lower greenhouse gas environment. I'd love to say though, certainly beyond better for the climate, important that we think about better for the health of the child and then better for the financial health of the school.
Where can we go for more information?
BetterOurBuses.com for parents to go and learn the facts, learn how to engage, and then how to elevate the conversation in their school system about how their children can have this healthier, quieter, safer ride to school.
The reason they came was the script was fabulous. I do know that they brought their considerable talent, and we shot in places that are just so beautiful, and I can't wait for people to find it, see it, and share it.
To be right here in Los Angeles, California, in the United States, pretty thrilling. I got my mom here and a couple friends from Texas, and I'm excited about tonight. I'm just trying to keep a lid on it.
It's a fascinating story. It's also incredibly cinematic. I think people can expect to be taken on a real journey. You have to sit back and luxuriate in this tale that unfolds over time.
I was really happy and proud to be speaking the White Mountain Apache language and featuring it, in this film, and for everybody to see it and hear it globally, all over the world.
To be able to tell the story in a film, it's been needed for a long time, and I think Kevin's had it in his mind for a long time.
It just feels amazing. There's a lot of people here that I haven't even met before. To sort of do this thing with this huge cog of people and all come together to celebrate the film just feels exciting.
Well, that's it for us. Don't forget to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. I'm your host, Heather Dawson. We'll see you next time.